So hey guys, and I'm back with another tutorial, and in this one we'll again try to make some kinetic typography on that paint text effect which I showed you earlier in my previous video also. If you haven't watched any of my videos, please go and check other videos too. That's highly recommended because you're gonna learn many things. So in order to just learn all of these things, you have to watch all my previous videos. And yeah, but first let's focus on this one. So first of all, I have my this software open, and you can see that we have this fusion composition over here. And if you don't have this panel right here, your effects panel might be off. Just click on it and you'll have this effects panel, and click on this effects, and here you can see you have fusion composition. Just click and drag it on a timeline, but first we don't need to do that. Delete it and delete this timeline also. What we'll do is I'll click on this project settings, and here you can see that our timeline frame rate is 24, and we'll change it to 60. This will make our animation a little smoother, and hit change. Now if you add this fusion composition, you can see if I right click on it, timeline settings, you can see that it's 60. Okay, now click on your fusion composition and then click on this fusion page. Now by default you will have this media out node available in your page, and these are our two viewers. Yours might be a single one or maybe both, but we just need single view right now. So click on this single icon, and the first thing which I'll add is this background node. So click and drag this background node over here and take the output of this background and put it into the input of this media out. Now obviously in order to make the text animation we need our text, so click on this background and click on this text plus right here. And what this will do is it will automatically add this merge node, because I had already selected this background node. That's why it has added this merge node in our pipeline, and our text node also on the foreground of this merge. I'll click on this text, I'll click here and write some text. I will write Fusion Studios over here, and I'll increase the size. Let's round it off to 0.01. That's fine. And in order to add some animation to it, what I'll do is I'll add a modifier to it. So right click on it and you'll have these modifiers. I'll select the follower modifier, and here you can see that your modifier panel is now open. Click on it and you'll have all these settings. Now what I'll do is I'll go to this transform tab over here, and I need to change this rotation on x-axis, but you can see that right now it's not working. Well, that's because you need to enable some keyframes first. So I'll come to my first frame and hit a keyframe on my x-axis, and the order will be XYZ. And now if you will move it, you can see that it's moving. I'll reset it to 0 and come a few frames forward, and because it's a 60 FPS timeline, now when the 60 frames will happen, it will count it as 1 second. Let's go to 65th frame. Let's go to frame number 65, and here put this 360 so that it will complete this one rotation. And now if I'll play it, then you can see what is happening. Okay, do one thing, I'll just watch it again. I don't need this kind of rotation. I want this rotation but in a negative manner. So come here, type minus in front of 360. Yeah, this is what I want, and I think this is looking nice. Now in order to have a delay effect on all of these text separately, come to this timing panel, and here you can see you have this delay. Click here, double click here and type 1.2, cause 1.2 is the best. Yeah, this is nice. Now you'll have this animation but on each character one by one. Instead what we can do is we can even increase the delay to like 2.5 maybe. So the next thing which we'll do is we'll again come to this modifier. Now what we'll do is click on this text, right click on it and check this edit splines. Now you can see you have your spline editor open. I'll hit Ctrl S to save regularly, because you know it will crash anytime, I don't know. Okay, so here in your spline editor, just check this character angle X, and here you will have your keyframes. In order to zoom and see your all the keyframes, click on this option, zoom to fit, and here you will have both of your keyframes. I'll I'll hold control and zoom it out a bit by scrolling my mouse wheel. Select both of these keyframes and hit S in order to smooth it out. Now if I'll play, you can see it's a little bit smoother, but I don't want that. Hold Alt and then drag this curve horizontally and bring it a little bit forward, and do the same thing with this one. I'll bring it a little bit backwards to like something like this. Now we'll have a hard steep over here. Instead of a smooth falling curve, we have a hard steep. If I'll play it, as you can see, this is something which is happening. I think it's a little fast. I don't need that fast of an effect, so I'll bring it a little backwards. Maybe somewhere around here to like 40, and it's 0 to 40, so 25. I think this will look a little bit, yeah, this is better. Okay, now you can close our spline editor, and in order to have that motion trail effect, what we can do is, first of all, what I'll do is I'll take my this frame range end bar and bring it closer to maybe 90, frame number 90. This frame range is temporary over here just to loop and see your animation quickly. And to add that motion trail effect, you can either add your node, and you can add any node to your node graph by hitting shift plus spacebar, and you can click trails over here. As you can see, this is trails node, but I don't find it pretty good, so I'm not going to use that. Instead, what I'm going to use is, again, hit shift plus spacebar and type duplicate, and here you will have your duplicate node, obviously. And as you can see, you have all these settings that you can play with. I'll type here 25, and nothing happen now because you change a little bit more of the settings. The next thing that you want to change is this time offset. This is basically the delay which you saw in this text modifier earlier, so it is the same thing as that. I'll decrease it to maybe like minus 1.2. I'll hit enter, and now if I see it, wow, it's actually really nice. Okay, I'll maybe leave it at -1. Right now you might be like that nothing is happening. I mean, it's not looking that great. Just wait. Click on this text, come to this settings, check this motion blur and increase it to 6 for now, and increase the shutter angle to 200. And right click over here and see that your motion blur is enabled, as well as I'll enable my proxy and auto proxy. And now if I'll play, it will be a little bit laggy, but it's actually a lot laggy. So what we can do is we can come to this playback and then proxy resolution and change the resolution to maybe half or quarter. So as you can see, it will look something like this, and maybe we can increase it a bit. Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, so in order to have a color here, what I'll do is I'll take this text node, I'll hit Control C to copy it, and then Control Shift V to get this instance node. Instance node is basically a copy of this text node, but in instance nodes you can't change any of the settings. You can, but you have to do something like, I want to change the color of this instance text. Then I have to go to shading, and here I have to right click here and select T instance. Now I will have my options enabled, and I'll make it white, and I'll choose this text one and come to shading and make it purple maybe. somewhere like purple. I think this is looking nice. I'll come to my instance and the output of it and join to the out merge one. Now again, this will add a merge node automatically, and we'll have this text in front. Okay, now if I'll play, so it will look something like this. You have your simple basic text. Okay, it's pretty slowly. So I'll come here and play back and choose quarter instead of half. It will move a little bit faster than before. And as you see that it's also rendering this cache, which is good because once it's cached all over to 90 frame, now it will play smoothly. And I think that it's looking good, but not that good. You understand my point, right? Hmm. So let's do some more things. First of all, add some After Effects. I'll come to this merge and again hit shift plus spacebar and add a glow node. Decrease my glow, increase my glow size to maybe 12. Again shift plus spacebar and add a soft glow. Decrease my gain to all the way here and decrease my blend also. And now you can increase my and again increasing my glow size to 12. Now you will have this kind of an effect. I'll again come to my text one, go to shading, and here I'll change the color. I don't like that color. I'll play it again. I think now it will be easier for you guys to see. Uh, I mean, it's good, but it's not that good. I'll come. I'll click on this blur node and increase this blur a little bit. And the next thing which I'll do is I'll decrease this blend to maybe around 0.88. And now we will have this kind of an effect. Yeah, that was what I was looking for. It was not having that uh, gradient fade away because of this blend over here. You can see it's looking so good. I kind of like it. So the next thing which you can add is film grain. Obviously, I'll again hit shift plus spacebar and click film grain. Zoom it in, and now I'll again come to this playback option, and in here timeline proxy resolution, I'll again check full so that we have full resolution. And in order to like you don't want to see the motion blur in your Fusion page, then you can right click here and uncheck this motion blur and check proxy, auto proxy, and also I'll uncheck high quality. Now it will play a little bit faster. Well, that's because you don't have motion blur enabled now. I think it's counting motion blur again, but I don't know why. Whatever, I'll come to film grain. And here oh sorry, I added a wrong film grain. I'll delete it. Again hit shift plus spacebar and I'll add this film grain. Okay, now I'll decrease the texture, increase the opacity to 1, change softness to 0, zoom in it a little just in order to see it, and increase my grain size or maybe decrease it. Yeah, I'll increase it. I'll increase the grain strength also. You guys will be like, no, that's looking so ugly, but actually it is not. Grain always, like I'll add 0.33 and I will decrease the grain size to maybe 0.55. Like, grain is the best thing. It adds so much of the texture to the image. And after this background node, I'll also do one thing. First of all, I'll come to this background node, and here I'll increase its value to maybe, I think 6 looks great. I'll increase the value to 6. And after this background node, I'll again hit shift spacebar, and it's already there. I'll choose this film damage node. Okay, it's doing nothing. I think that we need to, yeah, here it is, scratches. You need to add these scratches over here. Enable moving scratch, enable moving scratch, enable moving. Change the scratch color to white, and you can see it adds this white line which brings an old retro feel, which looks really nice. I also do temp shift to blue because it is on the yellow side. I'll hit 0 instead. Okay, and a little bit of vignetting. And in here, dirt. I'll also again check this white option. Actually, we are having dirt, but it's little, it's not little, it's very small. I'll increase dirt size to 5. I'll also increase dirt density. Okay, that's a lot. I'll decrease dirt size to default and increase density to maybe 4. Yeah, that looks nice. I'll decrease dirt size to here and increase dirt blur also. Play with the dirt seed a little bit. Okay, so I don't want a pure white dirt. I'll choose a little less gray option instead. And I think that's actually looking really nice. And what we can do is I can go here and again choose the scratch and change its color. So I'll have 2 scratches instead of 1. I don't know where is that scratch because I'm not able to see that. Or maybe it's the same scratch. Maybe we need to change its amplitude and speed. Yeah, it was the same. I'll reduce its moving speed and moving amplitude. Instead, I'll change its moving randomness and flickering speed. I'll reduce its speed to 0.017 and amplitude. And I'll reduce its color to grayish blackish one. I'll reduce it a little more. I think it's looking nice. And in order to see it on the edit page, I'll come to the edit page, and on this playback here, I'll go to render cache, and instead of none, I'll check this user. Now you'll have this red bar over your fusion composition. Now wait until it's blue, and when it will be covered in blue, then you can play it. It will play a very smooth playback. So wait for it, and I'll catch you there. I actually noticed one thing, or maybe I just forgot to tell you guys that if you haven't looped it, then you have to loop it. Now what I'm saying is that we just made our fusion composition to like 90 frames, which is 1 second, 1.5 seconds. So in order to loop it, in order to make it long, we need to loop it. Okay, and to loop it, I'll again go to Spline Editor, make it a little bit bigger, and then select all of my keyframes and right click and check this set loop and check this loop over here. Now we will have maybe a little bit of the looping animation. I'll take this frame range and put this all over to the back. And yeah, I mean, we are having this loop, which is great. And one more thing which you can do is, if you want to make it a little bit like more good, obviously you're gonna need some more nodes. I'll add aperture diffraction. I'll change its settings from hexagon to no. I'll put it to like octagon instead. Heptagon, hexagon, square. My favorite is square, by the way. But just to show you, I'll choose hexagon, and here I'll increase the aperture size to 10, and I'll also change my result gamma to 0.6 maybe, and I'll decrease my scale a little bit. Don't worry about the this whitiness which is just making you blind. If you like this amount of size, then make it like that, and then decrease the brightness to like maybe point to 5. I think is good, and then save it. And I'll change this film grain and put it after my aperture diffraction. I'll not add prism blur in it. The last thing which I'll add will be my vignette. I'll hit Control F, not to you know. And in my vignette, I increase my anamorphism to 3, increase my softness, and increase the size also, because we already have this vignette. And I'll again come to my background and go to its color and increase its value to maybe 10. I think this is looking really nice. And we are done with our special effects. So I'll take all of these and hit shift to space bar and type here underlay. And in this underlay, I'll hit F2 in order to rename it and type here OFX. Okay, now you will have this OFX over here. Now to select all of these, you just have to click on this underlay panel. Okay, and I'll save it again. I'll click here and again hit, or you can even do group, like you can even make group by hitting Control G, and this is a group now. So I'll rename this group to, and you cannot enter numbers in group. Okay, so you can't write 1 2 3. Cannot write number at the beginning. No issue. I'll type here RBG, which is short for background, and you'll have this group for BG, and you'll have this underlay for all the OFX, and you'll have this text. Again, you need to hit shift spacebar and choose this underlay, add. I'll hit F2 and write here text. I'll hit enter because it's the same. Okay, now what I need to do is I'll increase the size of the text because I'll add some more nodes here. You can add some more colors in between of this purple and white. So maybe you can add a little bit of red at the beginning of this white, and you can add light blue at the end of purple. So it's totally up to you. You can play with it. I'll just play it for once just to see it. Actually, I think that we don't need these much of copies. We just need maybe 15 copies. 15 copies will do the work. And I'll also decrease the blur. Yeah, we can increase our blend to like 0.85. I think that is looking nice. And I'll not add any other color because the screen did everything. That screen apply mode which we choose right now. And I think that is it, guys. You can even go to the color page and add little more effects, like you can add blur and everything else. But I don't need to add any of that because I think that it's already looking nice. Maybe you can color grade it. I'll click on this light. Okay, it's containing all of those. And what if I'll click on the shadow? It's containing everything. So I'll do one thing. I'll bring my shadow towards a little bit of green, maybe green or blue. And I don't need to increase the exposure of my light because it's already clipping. I'll save it again. I'll disable it and enable it in order to see the difference. Maybe we can bring it a little bit more closer to the cyan. Just a little bit, not too much. Something like this, maybe. If I'll see before, after. Yeah, it's doing something. So we will keep it like this. And I'll increase my contrast also with my curves. I'll increase my black points a little bit. And as you can see that it's doing its thing. I'll reduce it just a tad bit. Okay, looking nice. And also keep my highlights as it is. Okay, so I'll save it. I'll come to my Fusion page and see everything is fine. Select all of it, bring it a little closer. And I think now that you can see it's only media out node over here. And now you can see what is happening. We have this background, and this from this background we are putting this. I'll do dual viewer. Okay, so we have this background. Okay, this grayish background. We don't have like pure black background. As you can see, its value is increased to 10. Then we have this film damage on top of this background. After that, we have this merge, and in this merge, what's happening is we have this text, and in this text, there is a modifier which is animating our characters individually because of this delay and this modifier, follow modifier. Then we have this duplicate, which is duplicating obviously this text, and it is looking something like this. Then we have this instance text. We have this instance text just to have this white colored text on top of this duplicate motion trail. Then again, it's joined with this merge node. After that, we have this glow, then soft glow, then aperture diffraction, then film grain, then vignette, and at last you can see we have this kind of an effect. So thank you so much guys for watching till the end, and that's pretty much it for this video, and I hope that you like this video. And if you really enjoyed this video, then please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel obviously, and press that notification bell which is on the right hand side. When you press that subscribe button, it will come up there, and choose to watch all the notifications of this channel, because I'm gonna bring some really amazing content on typography, and I'm also learning side by side, and I'm also teaching. So yeah, it's really great. I'll experiment. I do everything with trial and error. Okay, I just try different kind of things which works, which doesn't work. The things which work I put it on online, and which doesn't I keep experimenting. That's it. So that's pretty much it. And if you want this title, just head into the link provided in the description below. There will be your title. You can get your title there. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.